to me about a time that you faced a challenge and how you overcame it.
So one particular challenge was when I was organising a fundraising event in school. So in school, I was house captain, and as part of my responsibilities, and actually an absolute privilege, we organised a charity event to try and raise some money for Macmillan. And we spent weeks organising what should have been a really, really lovely sports day event where students pay, donate money to Macmillan in order to participate and get involved. But unfortunately, on that day, it started raining, and so for a bit of time we were a bit disheartened because we as a team had spent so much effort into this, and the impression was that not many people were going to actually come to the event. And it was very easy at that point actually to just call it a day, say we tried our best. But I think we as a team came together collectively and decided actually there's different ways to raise money. We can definitely find an alternative option quite quickly and do something indoors. And so what we did was very quickly, we ran off to the shop, got one of those jars of sweets, and we carried out that event where people get to donate a bit of money, and in return they get to guess the number of sweets in the jar, and then whoever's closest gets the jar. And so even though it's quite a small kind of event, it did kind of remind me the importance of just constantly, regardless of whatever almost tribulations or whatever difficulties you've got, constantly try and find a way forward, constantly try and find alternative paths and just remain resilient.
Great, thank you. Okay, so I'd like you to talk to me about a difficult time that you overcame.
So last year I was working as a waiter in a restaurant. That was quite a hectic and challenging experience. So if I'm very honest, I was surrounded by people who perhaps weren't very competent with their jobs. I felt like I was doing a lot more work than was needed. So for example, a lot of the time, a lot of the stress of actually waiting at tables was placed with me. There were times when the other waiters didn't know how to do stuff, and I had to go and show them how to do it. And it felt like it was a constant, just a constant challenge. It was constantly exhausting, constantly having to do work and step in for other people. And it was not a good work environment. It was clear that these people were relatively incompetent and didn't, if I'm very honest, didn't deserve their jobs there. And so that was quite a major challenge. And if I'm very honest, I just left the place. It really wasn't worth wasting my energy and my time there. So if I'm honest, that's been the biggest challenge for me, and an experience which I really haven't appreciated, really did not enjoy it.
So let's look at how to tackle the question of a challenging moment in an MMI station. This is a very common question, and you're more than likely to get it at one, if not all, of your interviews. Therefore, what I recommend you do is you rehearse some of the examples you want to talk about in these stations. Have a couple of situations in your mind ready to discuss with the examiner. It is also really important to note that most of the marks in these stations are not for explaining the situation and what the situation was, but more what you learned from it and what qualities you espoused when you were in that situation. Therefore, rehearsing these situations before you enter the interview is key. Make sure you know exactly what you're going to say when you go in, but also make sure that you don't make it obvious that you've rehearsed this answer and you already know. Take a moment when you first get asked the question and then tell the examiner what the situation was with enough detail and in a short amount of time. Once you've set the scene, you can then talk about what you learnt, what qualities you espoused, And you may even want to talk about how these qualities may be used in a medical setting as a doctor. This can even help the interviewer visualize you in a medical setting as a doctor.
Check out the Aspiring Medics website for free resources on extra reading, entry exams, personal statements, and interviews to help you get into medical school.